Hey, this is Adrian Martinez from Stumptown, and you are listening to the Man Cave Chronicles.
Welcome to another episode of the Man Cave Chronicles.
Welcome to the party, pal!
You're my boy, Blue!
Yo, Adrian!
A podcast with interviews of amazing guests from the world of pop culture.
Oh, yeah!
TV.
Nice!
Movies.
Oh, I love the movies.
Comedy and more. From deep inside the Man Cave, your host, Elias.
Adrian, welcome to the cave.
Thank you, sir. It's good to be in the cave.
What's going on, man, with you? What's new with you?
Let's see. Well, we got a lot of work going on. I'm stumptowning. I got my eye Gilbert, and I got my little show called Stumptown, and with some very interesting plot developments. So I'm psyched.
Yeah, you've been busy the last few years. Numerous TV shows and movie appearances, and movies such as Focus with Will Smith, American Hustle, The Secret Life of Walter. Yep, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, and of course now Stumptown, which I gotta tell you, Stumptown, so far what I've seen, I love it.
It's good. It's a good show, and it's going to get better because we're figuring it out a little, and we're still developing my character. A lot of good stuff on the way that I just shot. And, I feel like if people are just patient, let the soup cook a little, it'll be good.
Yeah. So, why don't you tell the listeners, where are you originally from? We want to get to know you a little bit better.
Born and raised in New York.
How was it growing up in New York?
Well, it was pretty crazy, you know. It's a city that you basically have the world at your feet. So every day there's something going on, so it keeps you on your feet, which is good for acting. And, I've never been arrested, so things are good.
So growing up as a kid, what were you into?
The Smurfs. The Mets. I'm just obsessive Mets fan. Tough year this year. 10 games over 500, but not enough. Not enough. Glad they got rid of Callaway. Really just into sports. Started working basically as a teenager. I did an unsolved mysteries where they needed a track star. I was a sprinter in high school, believe it or not. And my whole audition was just running 50 yards against some other guys who basically had no shot. I mean, just to be real about it, I was a medalist.
Yeah.
And I just killed it, and I booked it, and they were like, all right, just run 50 yards, and then get to this door, just bang on it, and say, open the door. And I did. I said, where am I opening the door? He says, you're not opening the door. You're just banging on the door. Okay, cool. I banged on the door, and I got my side card on the other side, so that was good.
Now, you mentioned a New York Mets fan, so who's going to be the next manager? Who do you want?
I want Girardi. I feel like he's got that edge that the Mets need. You need a little edge, like in '86. The Mets had that edge. You know what I mean? Like they had that, rain night. Don't mess with me. You shove me, I'm going to shove you back twice. That kind of thing.
Yeah,
you need a little edge.
I got a weird feeling he's going to go to the Cubs.
Yeah, well, he has a history there. He played there.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, it's going to be. I'm hoping it's Girardi.
Yeah.
I think they'll go for a name, which is not usually what they do. But they gave Mitty, who had no. I knew it was a mistake. I don't know why you hire a guy who's never done the job before. I don't know why you do that. But life goes on.
Yeah, oh yeah. So growing up, did you know you wanted to get into the acting world and filmmaking? How did that happen?
No one in my family wanted me to do it. They all thought I was insane. There's always one kid in the family that goes against the grain that everybody thinks is something wrong with him. That was me. But I was obsessed with movies. I loved movies. I would go to the movies alone, movies with my friends. Pretty much a shy kid who didn't really, hang out with anybody. some kids in my neighborhood were doing drugs. I had no interest. I would go alone to the movies. I would go after school to a movie and just chill. And yeah, that was the thing. The movies were my thing, and more than TV. I just love movies, and you know, I just built this whole world about the movies. You know, my favorite movie is Shawshank Redemption. You know, get busy living or get busy dying. That's goddamn right. And that's it. You know, 25th anniversary was a couple weeks back.
Yep.
Got to see it on the big screen again, and it holds up, man. It's just a great picture. But movies, I would see a movie and I would say to myself, well, why didn't Tim Robbins do this instead of that? Like, I was making choices for the actors.
Yeah.
And then I realized, well, maybe I should just put my time where my mouth is and follow through. And just 20 years later, I caught a break on Stumptown.
Well, how did you get started in acting? What was after you finished
Well,
school?
yeah.
How did you get into the field?
Just kind of like plugging away, you know. Like I did a play in every dump in New York City, man. I remember working we would rent out a church, like one of those storefront churches. And I remember one time we were doing a David Mamet play, and we only had one rehearsal in the space the night before we opened. And I remember one time we were there, we had a great rehearsal, but the day of the show, they were loading lights, and the altar caved in. And the altar was the centerpiece of the stage. So we have to reblock everything around the center of it. I mean, you don't know where I've been, man. You don't know where I've been. But every dump in this city, every little place. And then eventually I got to work with Phil Hoffman, rest in peace, a great hero and mentor of mine. When I worked with him with the Public Theater at a play called Our Lady of 125th Street by Stephen Alley Dirgus, and Phil Hoffman directed it, and that was a great experience. He kept talking in wrestling metaphors, like you gotta really throw it down like the wrestlers, and every take, every show leaves nothing behind. That's what the audience is demanding. That is required from the art. That's what you do, and that stays with me. And I really try to apply that to my work today.
Wow. Did you take any acting classes, or did you just jump right into it?
No, I studied at Fordham University. I studied at HB Studio, a guy named Austin Pendleton, and I learned craft. I remember watching a lot of stuff on YouTube about techniques. I remember watching Michael Caine's acting in film, reading a book, Harold Clurman's book on directing, which is a terrific book, even if you're an actor and not a director. This gives you an insight into the process. And just taking away these gems that stayed with me. Like Harold Clurman would say, the truth is like castor oil. It's bitter and hard to swallow. Wow. So make people laugh. And while their mouths are open, you pour the truth in. And later I applied that principle to my movie, I Gilbert. It starts out kind of funny, and people are laughing, having a good time watching the movie. And then wham, I hit him with the gut with a very serious, dramatic piece. So yeah, it's all interconnected.
Yeah. Now you have would you say you have over 100 titles under your belt between TV and movies?
Yeah, I guess so, something like that. Yeah. I don't really count. I'm always worried about the next one.
Yeah. Well, because you have that. People that watch TV and movies, they've seen you in so much stuff. And I'm sure you get recognized as that guy from that movie or that guy from that TV show.
Yes, I'm actually thinking of changing my name legally to that guy. Then, whenever they see me, they get the name right. But yeah, it happens every day. Yeah.
So, what was your first gig when you got out in the field? Was it a TV or a movie?
Well, the Unsolved Mysteries got me the SAG card, and then, I just did. I remember doing a reenactment of a fugitive on America's Most Wanted. And then I got carded by a cop before I was the fugitive. I had to hold my SAG card up. True story. And then just cranking them out, like Sex in the City, telling Kim Cattrall she's got a nice ass. That's in the thing. That's not a Me Too moment. That was scripted. The Sopranos, working a bit with Edie Falco. And Law and Order, I did the trilogy. I was the cop. I was the perp, and I was the victim. And just accruing credits, never giving up, persevering, doing whatever I could to just work it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's really the work itself that teaches you more than any school could. And it's just accruing credits over the years, and eventually, becoming the sidekick to a lot of terrific stars like Will Ferrell and Ben Stiller and Will Smith and Margot Robbie and yada yada, and just being in the rarefied air was also an education.
Yeah. How was it starting with Ben Stiller on The Secret Life of Walter Mitty?
Well, that was a good one because you know what, I had met him about 5 years earlier. I was doing a play, that same play. It was the Phil Hoffman play with. We had Sam Rockwell as Judas Iscariot and Eric Bogosian as the devil. It was a terrific cast. And Ben was doing a play, and, the public has a shared, space where the actors can relax. And I had a movie coming out called Mail Order Wife, and it was a weird mockumentary movie. And he had just seen it. He loved about it. And his business partner, Stuart Cornfield, loved it. And they were like, we got to work with this guy. And then you just kind of like fast forward, I think it was 10 years. And then I got a chance to audition for Walter Mitty, and I did a read with him, with Ben, did Ben, I call him, and yeah, it was cast, it went well. And it was just really cool, just going to set. I remember at the table read, I was sitting opposite Shirley MacLaine, which was very trippy because I'm a big fan of being there with Peter Sellers. And I just kept staring at her. She probably thinks I'm a weirdo, which I am. But just a great opportunity to meet the A-list and just, realize that I belong. Because, whatever they threw at me, I caught it and gave it right back. So,
now, Stiller was on there as an actor and as a director. Did he give you any advice or anything, since you kind of fall in that field where you do acting and you also direct?
Well, it was more advice by example, because he never gave a speech or anything, but he was, just by his work ethic, the guy was there before anyone, prepping, setting up shots, acting, directing, then going to editing, going to post, every day he was putting in 18-hour days. This was a movie that meant everything to him. You could feel it. The attention to detail. I had several fittings just for my haircut. The guy was meticulous on a level that I had never seen before. And, I got a chance to work with, Sidney Pollack and The Interpreter and Sidney Lumet before The Devil Knows You're Dead. And just, really terrific directors. So the fact that, when I say Ben Stiller was the most meticulous, it says something. And he really was. He was just so invested in this movie and getting it right. And I think the movie deserved a better fate. It's definitely going to stand the test of time.
Yeah. So you said you worked with a few actors like Will Smith, De Niro, even Jeremy Renner. I mean, you had a big list. Who's one your favorite ones to work with?
I have to say, it's interesting. They each bring something else to the table. I love working with Will Smith because he's larger than life in a good way. He's like a parade float, but at the same time, he's accessible, extremely generous. He made everyone on set feel like a star, and he would start out every day just making sure that there was some kind of music blasting, and he would start dancing and just get everybody in a good place.
Yeah.
And, that taught me, it's work, but don't take it so seriously. You're making a movie, you're not Gary Gangster. Just enjoy it. And the way he enjoys his fame, like we were in Buenos Aires, and he would be very, very connected with the fans, giving out selfies and autographs. I mean, literally like hundreds of people in front of us. And if you ever want to feel like completely invisible, then just walk down the street with Will Smith, because it's just like, oh, your attention goes to Big Will, you know, and it should. So I'm glad to see him doing so great and continue his greatness.
Yeah. So now you star in ABC's Stumptown alongside with Cobie Smulders and Jake Johnson. Really quick, tell the listeners what the show is about if they haven't watched it yet.
It's a good show. It's about Cobie, who plays an ex-Iraqi war veteran who suffers from PTSD. And she goes to Portland, and she's asked to find a daughter who was missing. And she realizes that all her skill sets from being a soldier apply to becoming a private investigator. So week to week, there's a different case. And it's about this woman, very empowering woman figure, taking on what's going on in case to case as a PI. Imagine, you know, like the Rockford Files, but with a beautiful, kick-ass woman at the lead. And then you have a recurring storyline, which is kind of out there, which is kind of wild. So you have a love interest with Michael Ealy, maybe with Jake Johnson, and there's also me. I play Tookie. I run a food truck. She used to be my sous chef, so she comes to me for when she needs advice or help with things. And Tookie has some serious dark secrets that will be revealed soon. I tell you, but we're out of time. But yeah, and then you got Cameron Manheim, who's the badass lieutenant who runs the Portland Police Department. And of course, Tantu Cardinal, who audiences know from Dances with Wolves, and Legends of the Fall. This classically great, wonderful indigenous woman, actress, and a badass. And Cole Sibbs. Cole is, he plays Cobie's brother. He has Down syndrome. It's the first time, I think, an actor is playing a serious regular. And he's terrific. You know, his condition aside, he's just a really good actor. He's authentic, he's present, and he's extremely grateful to be there. It becomes infectious on set because he's like so grateful. He's doing selfies with everybody. He's running around. It's like, yeah, you're right. This is a gift.
Mm-hmm. Now you said you play Tookie. How would you how would you describe him?
Tookie's like he's high strung. He's funny. He's quirky. He's a perfectionist with respect to his cooking. He sees himself as aspirational. He wants to be a great cook, not a chef. He wants to run a terrific, Michelin star restaurant, not just a food truck. And that's where I connected with him. This is a person who's ambitious, who wants a better life for himself and his family. He's got a wife, he's got kids, and he's a real guy. And he's absolutely faithful to Dex, played by Cobie Smulders. He loves her like a guardian angel, and there for her no matter what. Which I can relate because he's a Scorpion and I'm a Scorpion. Scorpion's like, if you once you get us on your side, that's it. You got a friend for life.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I love this show. I mean, I hope it gets picked up and we see a lot more episodes.
You and me both, my friend. You and me both. I think it's got a shot because when you think about it, there's nothing like it on television because it's action, it's comedy, and it's drama. It's an action dramedy. I don't know what else. Yeah. Who else is doing that? I mean, on broadcast, I don't see anyone doing that. Yeah. So we're just warming up. So if you like what you see, get ready because there's going to be some terrific plot twists coming up that really going to blow people away.
Yeah. So next month we have Disney Plus that's coming out, and you have a role on Disney's Lady and the Tramp. Tell us about that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I just caught my breath from chasing those dogs. This was shot last summer in Savannah, Georgia. It takes place in 1908. And I play Elias, the dog catcher, so the dog catcher from Lady and the Tramp. So it's live action with real dogs. Lady is played by Rose, and Tramp is played by Monty, and there were 2 sets of dogs, and I had to chase them all. I had to chase a digital dog in a corduroy suit in 98-degree humidity in Savannah.
Wow.
And I pulled it off, man. I pulled it off. I literally had like 2 PAs, just like one was just like spraying me with water between takes, and one was just giving me water. It was just like, because it was a bear, you know. But I think when people see the movie, they're going to love the end result. Justin Theroux is the voice of Tramp, and Tessa Thompson's the voice of Lady. And it's beautifully directed by Charlie Bean, who people know from those Disney movies, the Ninja, I forget what they're called. With that Colleen Atwood doing the wardrobe, Oscar winner. You know, it's Disney. They do it right. They do it right, and it's going to be gorgeous. People have a big kick out of it. So if you've seen the original animated film, you're going to love this because you get to re-experience it. And if you've never seen it, you're just going to be able to enjoy a movie on its own merits. It's really good.
So you've worked hard to get to this point in your career. What past project has had the biggest impact on you, you think?
Well, this is going to sound, weird, but honestly, when I directed my own movie, I Goldberg, that took a lot out of me. I feel like I almost died from the experience because I wrote, produced, starred, and directed it.
Wow.
And I had to sell my property to finance it. I couldn't raise the money. And no complaining. That's how it should be, and, that's how it was. And I had, it was a low budget. I had, crew people, leave for more lucrative jobs last second, which comes with the territory when you can't pay people as much as you'd like to. So the stress that came from that was, when you've already paid for stuff, for sets and for other crew and your cast, it can only be there X, Y, and Z days.
Yeah.
It's just crazy stressful, and it took a lot out of me. I had to decompress for a while after I shot that. But it taught me that I could do it. I could do it. It taught me I could do it. I could survive. I could eventually make a film I was proud of. And that's what I'm going to take into the next project, which was, it turned out to be, I was doing I Feel Pretty after that with Amy Schumer. And that felt like I was on vacation because, Amy's great. All I had to do was act. We shot that up in Boston, and it was like a piece of cake.
Yeah.
After the bear of doing I Gilbert. So, I feel like now, even when I'm working on Stumptown, it's like, I see it as the actor. I learn my lines, but I also see it as a director in terms of what would work best for this character long term. And I have a great relationship with Jason Richmond, the exec producer and creator of the series. I'm able to pitch ideas. Sometimes he likes them. Sometimes he doesn't think it'll work. But I get the process better than I ever did. And the fact that he's in my corner means a lot to me.
Yeah. So do you have a dream? Do you want to do another project in the next year or two?
Yeah, I've written other scripts, but not with my money.
Yeah.
Next time, someone else is going to pay for it.
Yeah. There you go.
But yeah, I have other scripts in mind, and I have a couple ideas for episodics, which I'm developing with my manager. So yeah, there's good stuff coming. Yeah, I'm not going to stop. This is what I do.
Yeah. When you're on your downtime, when you're not working, what do you enjoy doing?
Hanging out with my kid. She just turned 14. I had her young, but we're very close. She's the best. She's actually pretty brilliant. When she was 9 years old, she interviewed Malala Yousafzai. She got elected to do an interview with her, and she got flown out to Kansas City. And her first question to Malala was unprompted. Was how do you reconcile Islam with feminism? And I was like Malala's sitting there with her dad, and I'm there, and security's there, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, just like so much for what's your favorite color, whatever, But Malala didn't bat an eye, and she answered very respectfully, and it went well. but it just showed me that I have a very strong, independent thinker for a kid, and
That's great.
that's probably my best achievement more than any other film role.
Good. Do you have any other upcoming projects that you can tell the listeners about?
Well, November 12th, I hope everybody tunes in on Disney Plus. Check out Lady and the Tramp, and just cranking out Stumptown. That's my focus now, and developing a television show that I have an idea for called Hank, which I can't get into now, but I have a couple of people interested, and stay tuned, man. I'll let you know when things start popping.
Sounds great. Lastly, how can the listeners find you on social media?
At Taste of Adrian. And as my character Tookie says, I need the light. Because I just started getting into it. But yeah, Facebook and Instagram is at Taste of Adrian, and Twitter too. So.
All right. Adrian, thank you for coming on. This was a blast.
Dude, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Sometimes people have the kind of problems that police can't help with. That's where I come in. I solve cases all while playing nice with the Portland PD.
I need to arrest you.
For what?
For 14 unpaid parking tickets.
Cool.
Yeah, I got 4 problems as a human in me.
You have to check for a wire.
Great, well, it's a good thing I wore my second best bra.
But I had a bad, non-committal.
What happened to your face?
What happened to your face?
We don't f with lies. We don't do good lies. We just keep it pushing like.
You saved my life.
Don't text me.
Doing my job.
I could use your help. Free beer.
That would be nice.
Shampoo, press, get you out of my hair. Fresh photos.
Got it from here, Dex.
There's 2 more in the trunk.
Stumptown premieres September 25th on ABC.